Alright guys, here we are looking at the Advertisers tab. Now there's a lot to cover under the Advertisers tab. So this video series may take a couple different videos to cover everything. So let's begin. From the Advertisers tab, this is where you're going to create all of your advertisers that you're going to serve across any of your sites. These would also include network tags. So if you're serving other AdJuggler tags or double-click tags, real media tags, any of those network tags you can also create within the list of advertisers. To create a new advertiser or network, we just click on the orange plus icon and we give this advertiser or network a name. So I'm actually going to use a network as an example here. So let's say I'm not going to name any real networks for this, but I'm going to just call this my Network X advertiser. Maybe there is a Network X, I don't know. Now, if I wanted Network X to be able to log in and view their campaign, view their own statistics from within AdJuggler, I would be able to give them that access by selecting the independent login checkbox, giving them a username and password, and setting their access rights. But I'm going to go ahead and skip that. Access rights were covered under sites. So you can check that video if you like. Alright, so when we create our network or advertiser, they will appear in the list on the left. Now, I don't want to confuse networks on sites because you can also have a network as a site if you were delivering ad content into other networks. In this case, it's the opposite reversal. You have network tags that you are going to serve through your sites or even through your own other networks. All right, so we've created this advertiser, Network X, and we are taken to the Overview tab of this advertiser. Every advertiser has its own Overview tab where AdJuggler displays the properties of this entity, I'm going to call it, from the Overview tab. You see, in this case, it's the creation date and its unique ID value and name. And we see that there can be campaigns and ads and tracked pages and reports, but nothing's been created. This is a clean slate. All right, so when you have an IO come in, the IO is going to specify the value of the campaigns, or the value of the ads, where they're supposed to be displayed, any sort of targeting or frequency capping, and all of those targeting settings that I just mentioned are all configured within campaigns. The ads themselves, as you create them in AdJuggler, have no targeting applied to them. That is all done within the campaign itself. So to create a campaign, we can hover over the name of our advertiser and use the blue plus icon, or from the Overview tab here, we can click on the blue icon on the right. Both will bring the same new campaign generation window. Okay, so let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. From the General tab, we have our basics, the title, the status, active or on hold, the type, the campaign type. The highest campaign type or tier is actually the exclusive. It's on the bottom. AdJuggler will first look for an exclusive campaign. If none of those exist, it will look for a standard. And if no standards are found, it's going to look for a house. So it's kind of your hierarchy of your campaigns right there. I'm going to select standard campaign for this example. Next is mirrored. With this selected, AdJuggler will attempt to deliver only ads from this campaign on a page at a time. So this is how you kind of do a roadblock where you notice all of the ads on a page are from the same advertiser. That's an example of mirroring. All right, I'm going to skip inventory, description, make any notes you want about the campaign. And this zone is currently configured for eCPM algorithm distribution, which means AdJuggler is going to display your most profitable campaign first, 99% of the time. If it was on manual weight, you would see a weight field underneath the description where you can put in a numeric value 1 through 999, where the higher the number, the greater the chance of a campaign delivering. By default, the weight is 5. If you never touch it, then all of the campaigns that are eligible for an ad request will be distributed or served evenly. All right. Moving down, time frame and distribution, start dates and end dates. When's the campaign going to run? And we finally have our limits. You can set limits on a campaign, total limits, daily limits, clicks included. If you have any limit, the campaign will end when that limit is reached, either for the day or overall. So let's say we have a campaign, in this case it's going to run for 3 months, and I've got a limit, let's just say 30,000 impressions here. Looks about right, right? Yes, okay, great. And we have our distribution type of ASAP. That means that AdJuggler is going to deliver this campaign as quickly as it can with no throttling. If you have got the traffic volume, you could serve all 30,000 impressions in a couple seconds, or most likely a couple minutes, but it can be done. You probably don't want that. Your advertisers don't want that. So let's choose one of the distribution types, and you'll notice there are 2 different types of even. Say, what's going on here? Okay, well, the difference between smooth and constant is what AdJuggler does with any remaining impressions that should have been served for the previous day. If even constant is selected, AdJuggler is going to stack those remaining impressions on top of the day 2 limit, or the next day's limit. If even smooth is selected, AdJuggler is going to take those remaining impressions and add them and distribute those evenly over the remaining days. So you've got even constant, that's more front-loaded, and even smooth, which is more stacking on the end of the tail end of the campaign. Or not even tail, but the rest of the campaign remaining. If continue until limit is reached, then AdJuggler may continue serving this campaign even past the specified end date in order to hit one of these limits, either a total impression limit or budget, whatever the limit is that is set for this campaign. And I want to just keep this on ASAP. And at the bottom, we can apply a budget to the campaign. Let's say you have a budget but no CPM or no impression limit. Let's say it's $1,000, and we know the CPM value of this campaign is $10. AdJuggler is going to deduct that CPM of $10 for every 1,000 ads that are served from this budget. When the balance is 0, the campaign will end. Simple as that. All right, so we're at the bottom of the campaign general tab here. You'd be tempted to hit save, but don't. You actually want to jump back up to the top to configure the campaign configuration. All we've done now is the very basics. We haven't even linked this campaign to a channel or ad placement, which is a common step that most people miss, is the linking of the campaign to your channels or ad placements, depending on how you have your account configured. Okay, so continuing on, the next thing we want to look at is, I'm gonna do the basics here. So this is very basic campaign configuration. We set our basics under general, and then we want to link this campaign to either a channel or an ad placement. If we have created ad placements and group those into channels, we can simply link or select that channel with one click, and bam, all of our ad placements that are part of this sports channel have now been linked with one click. We can select any number of channels that we want and remove them with those clicks there. Or we can use ad placement linking and specify exactly where this campaign is going to appear by expanding these sites that we have created and select the ad placements individually. Let's say I know I want to run on robotics.net. I want the entire run of site. And on my camerastore.com, I want the homepage leaderboard and maybe the left column, but that's it. And maybe I also want to serve this across network A, and maybe I also want to serve it across, maybe that's it. Maybe that's all I'm supposed to serve this campaign according to the IO. And that's it. So if that's the very basics. You set your general settings and link your ad placements, hit save, and AdJuggler is a real-time system. So this campaign is ready to go as soon as we link our ads.